Hello everyone! Recently, I've been thinking about all the events that Star Stable has had over the years, and so today we're going to be taking a look at those events and ranking them all in a tier list. I've been playing this game since either 2017 or 2016, but I only got Star Rider in 2019, so I really don't have a very good recollection of the events that happened prior to 2019, but I'll do my best to remember and look up what these events were all about. Our tiers today are absolutely iconic, pretty fun, boring or forgettable, and worse than the Gen 1 North Swedish horse. If you know, you know, it's tradition at this point. We're gonna be starting off with the Red String Trail Ride, which used to be its own event before it got merged with the Jorvik Equestrian Festival. I feel like once it merged, it definitely got overshadowed quite a bit, but on its own, it's honestly such a fun event. It has great replay value. I mean, not really for me anymore because I've seen all the different events that can happen, but if you've never done it before, I would definitely recommend checking it out when it comes around. There's like alien abduction, there's a bunch of sheep, Yidris is driving a car, you can see all sorts of different NPCs, and you get a lot of really weird items. Like, I have so many random things. I have like a pocket watch, a bunch of mysterious rings, some abandoned lasagnas and potatoes, just like floating around in my closet from that thing. It is so random, but it really is fun. I'm gonna put it under pretty fun. Next is the Summer Beach Party, or Fort Pinta Beach Party, which also got kind of merged into just the general like summer event stuff that happens. There used to be a whole Reputation faction called the Fort Pinta Beach Association for this event. I don't know if it's still in the game, but I definitely have some reputation for that will never be used again. I feel like a main appeal of it are the lanterns, but low-key, I think it's kind of boring. I really like the dancing part in the middle, where you can just go and like boogie it up. This summer, there was that weird AI DJ. That was really odd. However, I honestly feel like it's kind of boring and forgettable. You know what? No, this is my tier list. I'm gonna put it under boring or forgettable just because, I don't know, for me, it is pretty boring. I think they introduced a couple new mini games this past year. It's not that engaging to me personally. Next, we have the birthday event, which I'm gonna put under absolutely iconic. I love the little like quiz trails that they have where they ask you questions. I think it's so fun how we get like a special birthday sweater each year. The cake is iconic. The Soul Steed is really ugly. I hate the Soul Steed. That's like the worst part of the festival for me. I like finding the golden horseshoes that are hidden all around. Next is the Jojo Siwa collab. Now, I'm gonna put this under boring or forgettable because it is very much forgotten. Sometimes I'll peruse the Star Stable Reddit and I'll see people talking and I'll see people being like, what's up with this Jojo ponytail? And then people will respond and be like, oh, that's from the Jojo collab. And they're like, what? Other than the ponytail, that collab has just been like wiped from Star Stable's existence, which I kind of understand because she's a bit of a controversial figure now. After that event happened, I feel like everyone just immediately forgot about it. It wasn't that crazy. Jojo basically just stood around and her new song played in the disco, and you could buy Jojo ponytails and Jojo merch. I do in fact own every single Jojo ponytail. Having the Jojo event on the same tier as the Fort Pinta Beach Festival is crazy. You know what? That was rude of me putting it in boring or forgettable. It gets to go back up and pretty fun. I did used to really like it. Recently it hasn't captured my attention as much, but maybe that's just me getting older. Okay, it can stay in pretty fun. I'm so sorry. Next, we have the Valentine's event, which I genuinely do more in every year. It wasn't that huge. I think we just had like Valentine's decorations in Jorvik Stables and Moreland, and there were special Valentine's Day races, and you could like do them with a partner, and it was fun. They had like the little bear plushes that were so expensive and literally glitched in the saddle pad, so it was such a scam, but it was just a fun little thing that came around every Valentine's Day, and I don't understand why they removed that. Like, for some reason, we only have 4 festivals every year, 1 for each season, but like there are way more than 4 holidays. While I do miss it though, I never see people talking about it, so I'll put it under boring or forgettable, above Jojo Siwa for sure. But I wish it'd come back. It'd make the game feel a lot more lively, you know? Now, Halloween events going in absolutely iconic, obviously. The last couple years haven't really engaged me much just because it's been the same thing over and over, but it's such a staple of Star Stable. I always love seeing what they come up with for the Halloween horses, even if I don't love them. For newer players who haven't just seen the event be recycled over and over, I'm sure it's such a blast. Now next is the Fortuna event, which I actually have absolutely zero recollection of, but basically rainbows would show up around Jorvik, and following them to their ends would bring you to a little leprechaun named Chon, and then you could get some rainbow gold to exchange for prizes. So basically like the gold finding mechanic from the Western Festival, and there was also like a rainbow finding thing for the Rainbow Festival, I believe. So parts of it got incorporated into other events, but again, just a fun little holiday celebration. It's gonna go in boring or forgettable because no one talks about it anymore, but we still miss her. Now this here represents the Jorvik Stables open house, not to be confused with the Jorvik Equestrian Festival. The Jorvik Stables open house was in like late July to early August. It might be a little bit like redundant to have it separate from the Equestrian Festival, but in my head they're still 2 different events. It didn't have the whole like dressage aspect. It specifically being called the Jorvik Stables open house is just so iconic to me. However, compared to the Equestrian Festival, it's a lot less interesting. It doesn't have as much to do. But like, come on, pretty fun. Wait, you know what I just realized? This is the Valentine's Day icon, and this is the Easter one. Oops. I don't know if literally anybody noticed that. Just pretend it's been that way the whole time, okay? Next is the Rainbow Festival. I remember when it clocked to me that this was for like Pride Month, I was genuinely shocked. Didn't know Star Stable was chill like that, but we love to see games being so open about supporting queer communities. I love the idea of this event, you know, being a Pride event, but in reality, I always found it so boring, just because it was the same thing every year. Like, you'd find the colors in the rainbow, and you'd find our lost objects, and I'm pretty sure they were in the same spot every year too. And then you'd just be going around Moorland, and all of a sudden there'd be like rainbows everywhere, and a bunch of NPCs would come stomping through. My favorite part of that whole event was the Pride mane and tail bows being added. At least those are still available to buy in the summer, and they didn't disappear with the Rainbow Festival, but it's gonna go in boring or forgettable. Just for me personally, I know a lot of people still talk about it and miss it. We'll put it like there because low-key I would rather have Valentine's and Fortuna back than the Rainbow Festival. Midsummer! Do you guys remember the Midsummer Festival? I miss it every single day. I miss setting up the pole, I miss dancing around the pole, I miss going on stage and playing my instruments, I miss the NPCs that would stand around. Midsummer was so iconic. Like, why did Star Stable make it go away? Why'd they have to do that? That was unkind. Sometimes it feels like a fever dream because, like, what do you mean? We danced around poles and bonfires. It's gonna go in absolutely iconic, more so than the birthday event, but it'll stay behind Halloween because we don't need to be delusional. Next is the Equestrian Festival. The horses that come out for the Equestrian Festival always go so hard. The dressage test thing that they introduced a couple years ago is fun, but I can't do it for the life of me. I cannot get that thing, and I never impress the Baroness because I'm just not the one, I guess. But it's fun. There is a really good variety of things to do. It is iconic. This tier list definitely is clouded by nostalgia because I'm putting the freaking Equestrian Festival below Midsummer. You can't stop me. Next is the Western Festival, or the Western event, whatever it's called. When it first came out, oh my goodness, like that summer was so good for Star Stable. Actually, maybe that summer was horrible because isn't that the summer we got our characters updated? I think now we're all happy about it, but in the moment, everyone was rioting. The wolves and the finding gold and all of that, so fun, and it's been such a disappointment to see it come back the following years just the exact same. same, nothing new. I feel like it hasn't cemented itself in absolutely iconic status just yet because it is very new, but it's a very, very fun time. Now next is Spirit. To this day, I still see people asking in global chat, where is Spirit? I don't know if they're trolling. I'll look at them and they're like low level, so I don't think they are. I think they're being legit. And on Star Stable's FAQ, it literally says like, where can I find Spirit? Spirit's no longer in the game. I remember in my very, very early noob days before I got Star Rider, when I would just make random accounts and run around and do everything and then just repeat that over and over with new accounts, I would always get the Spirit is somewhere nearby, but I could never find him and it irked me. I remember buying things from the little shop they had with Lucky. I'm tempted to put it in boring or forgettable. It is not forgettable. We all know Spirit. We all remember Spirit. There weren't any special races you could do. You could just like buy apples, tame Spirit, buy Spirit, and then shop at the store. Like, it wasn't all that exciting. More iconic than Jojo, probably not as iconic as the Rainbow Festival. Now next is the Christmas event. Top tier. This is it. I get so much nostalgia from the event. I don't think I played any Christmases before we had the Winter Village, when it was just snow on Jorvik and you'd like help Santa and whatever, but I've seen footage of it. Shout out to Drahoslava Big Blanket. Opening presents under the tree, doing the races, buying the winter horses. It is all just so fun. It is my favorite time of year to play Star Stable. Low-key, that and the Midsummer Festival are the two that hold the most space in my heart, but I know if I put the Midsummer Festival above the Halloween event, things would end very badly for me. And last, and potentially least, is the Easter event, which I also don't remember. It is very old, as you can tell by the picture. Basically, you ran around finding eggs and then you traded those eggs in. Just a little couple week long event, but something fun to celebrate Easter. You know, even if you don't celebrate Easter, like finding little collectibles and trading them in is always fun. Why do I feel more towards Fortuna than the Easter Festival? I never played either of them, but for some reason, I just can't imagine myself enjoying this as much as the Fortuna Festival. You know what? You can move up. Not as much as Valentine's, but you can move up. This feels right to me. And you know what? Jojo Siwa, I think you can move down. Just because if anyone here is worse than Gen 1 North Swedish horse, it is Jojo Siwa. These are our final tiers. Let me know what you agree or disagree with. Let me know what your favorite and least favorite events are. And I will see you all next week. I love you. Bye.